Welcome everyone. This is another video about the amazing Open Labs Neko Timberland edition, TSE as it's called. Now, there's a couple of things that are much better now compared to the previous Neko video that I did. Firstly, the webcam, of course, looks really great. But apart from that, the audio is being captured in high fidelity now, which is also an improvement. Now, normally there's another screen attached to this, which actually sits here, but I can't use the second screen at the moment because I'm actually capturing the video output from the Neko, which means that I can switch scenes in OBS, for example, like this, and I can show you the desktop of the machine, which is fantastic. So I'll just go back here and show you a couple of things. So we do have a touch screen here, and we can do all this with our hands as well. Just before I go into that giant ambient that I did previously, I'll just go to play sounds here, and I'll just demonstrate with Timberland. I'm just going to load the Ensoniq CDR4 bank, and I'm going to just call up a sound here called Sweet Pad. And as you can see, now one of the things I should point out is that a lot of these controls here are actually mapped to these knobs here. So if you come up here, for example, you can't really see it, but if I switch this, you'll see that as I'm turning this knob here, I don't know whether you can see it, but this knob here on the software is actually turning. I'll just switch to the actual thing, and I'm turning the knob on the Neko on the front panel, and you can see here that the cutoff frequency is changing. This allows for very easy changes. We can also slow down. We've got the attack settings here and the release settings here, and we can add, there's a nice reverb in Proteus as well. So just remember that these sounds might start off a certain way, but of course they can be seriously edited and changed to suit your track. We'll close this now. It's because I've made some changes, I'm not going to save them. So we're back to the shell now here, and one thing I have to point out is that you have to go to Windows to access some things, and it's easily done by just clicking here and going to Utilities, go to Windows, and Windows pops up here, which is great. So there's all sorts of programs here which can only be accessed, Reaper being one of them, but also Carson. You can go back to the shell at any time just by double clicking on this, and we go back there. So I'm going to click on play sounds, and I'm going to just load up some sound effects now, the natural effects. Now sometimes Carson will be called up automatically, so it doesn't matter, you don't actually have to call it up, but it will pick whatever synth it needs in order to create the sound. So Carson's loading now here, and I'm just going to, that's just a preset, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to load my Jeff Ambient 2 patch, which is this giant patch that I created last time, and here we go, which is amazing. Now we've got eight synthesizers here. These things here open up the GUI. So if I sort of click on that, there's Purity there. And I've managed to get all these synthesizers now to load the correct sounds. So this has got this patch on it. Now you can solo these things, of course. This is just number 1 synth, which is Purity. As you can hear, that's pretty monstrous as it is. We can close that now. We can listen to Wazzik Station here. So Wazzik Station has got the Alien World on it down here. And as you can hear, it's a pretty spectacular patch just all by itself. So we can close the GUI here. There's 3 silents in this particular patch. Plug sound is doing this. It's a very slow sound. We can listen to the first silent here. And we can listen to this particular synth here, the Green Oak Software Crystal. Sort of got this electric piano type effect. We can listen to this silent here. We can listen to all the silents if you want, only. This is what silence looks like here. And as I was explaining previously, there are 2 oscillators, one here, and there's 2 parts, part A and part B. So there's actually 4 voices being used just by pressing 1 note with silence here. Okay, so now we'll unmute everything now, basically, and we'll basically hear everything, which is what we want. Now, all being synthesizers, of course. I'll just come back here for a moment. We can transpose. This is the transpose button here, so I'm going to transpose everything down. This is what I think you missed out on before. It was just the sheer bottom end of Neko, really. So this is where all the polyphonic power of this machine. There would be at least 60 voices on 1 note, for example, here. And like I said before, if you're playing a 5-note chord voicing, you know, can control the volumes of all of these things with these controls here. So I can turn various things down here. This is where you decide how loud you want each of these instruments to be. I'm tweaking the volumes now of everything here, see. There's the GUI for this electric piano sort of sound here. We can solo it. That's what the Green Oak software crystal is doing. We can release it back in. Close that up and we're back on to Carson now. Here is where you insert the effects. So this is the main output bus here, and all I've got there is basically an EQ. Actually, I've got an EQ and a reverb as well, I think. You can call them up. There's the reverb on the main outs. There's no effects on these synths. I've only added 2 effects down here, actually. There's a reverb down there on this silent, and there's another reverb. That's a chorus, I think. So yeah, oh no, that's a delay. So, but you can add effects in all to these slots. There's no limit to the number of effects you can put in there. You could put 5 effects processors in series just on one instrument if you wanted. So we go back here now. Here we can transpose. It sounds huge down here. Neko's got an amazing low end. Anyway, there it is. The polyphonic power of Neko. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed it.